And we are live. Grand rising to everyone. Grand rising, Tonya. Good
Grand Rising,
morning.
Paula.
Good morning to the early birds. I see Jay. I see Karen. I see Tanisha. I see Michelle, Miss Lexus, and Zinga. Um, uh,
Black Studios,
yes,
Black
Alicia.
Studies Bay.
That is Alicia. Alicia, yeah.
Okay, Divine
Um,
8 Empress, welcome.
yes. Um,
Mudi
welcome to everyone.
Wambele,
Yeah, Mudiwa. Right. Greetings,
Mudiwa.
Mudiwa. You're gonna get your link in after this. All right. So I want to welcome everyone. It's been an interesting couple of hours since the new moon. I'm hoping everyone is taking advantage of the beautiful energy of the new moon. We have a powerful, two powerful guest speakers today. Dr. Claudette will join us, but Dr. Claudette is going to be joined by Ezimo, a powerful speaker that I met 2 years ago at a
Mhm.
conference. And I was very impressed. And I am so grateful that he will be able to join us to share a little bit more of the Igbo cosmology. So, welcome. Thank you all for being here. Shupo, welcome from South Africa. Thank you for tapping in from South Africa, anchoring the light. South Africa needs lots of light now. We're sending some your way. Um, Here we are. Let's just take a moment to steady ourselves, and I'm going to hand over to Tonya for this morning's reflection. Rohan will be clearing in the background as usual, but we are going to leave most of the space for Dr. Claudette and Ezemu this morning. Over to you, Tonya.
Thank you, Paula. And today's reflection, we're going to get straight to it because we got Dr. Claudette and Izumu in the house ready to present some amazing information and downloads with you. As you know, we're in the Gemini season right now. And this is also our 4-4 portal meditation. So, whilst you begin to open yourself to new ideas, creativity, allowing your authentic self to shine, becoming more communicative, outgoing, and just allowing your natural self to be shared with everyone, it's also a time calling us to be stable. And that 4-4 energy is a double whammy when it comes to stability. So, if things are coming at you contrary to what you know to be true, be stable in your truth. Be stable in knowing who you are and what you represent and what you stand for. Be stable in your authenticity. Be stable in your voice. Be stable in your consciousness and your awareness. Yet be open to clarity, discernment, love, honor, truth, purity. These are the things that will allow us to navigate this time. Because, as we all know, as within, so without, as above, so below, consistency is the key. Stability is another one. And as you know, my all time favorite, love, unconditionally. And so it is. Thank you, Paula. Back to you.
Thank you, Tonya, for setting the tone for this morning. We truly appreciate you. Always, always, always. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
So now is the moment where I bring you greetings. And Dr. Claudette gave me some greetings in Igbo. I am going to greet you in Igbo before I greet you in English. So Dr. Claudette and Ezimo, please don't don't judge me too harshly if I butcher this thing slightly. But here goes. Chukwuabiyama Tua Anzu, Anyanwu na Ubochi Toanzu, Eke, Orie, Afo, Enko, Toanzu. Greetings, Umu Ada, children of the Great Mother. We gather on this portal day 4-4, the fourth day of the fourth Onwa, to step through one of the year's most generous gates. Today, the calendar opens its arms and asks us a single ancient question. What do you wish to bring into form? So that's a question to ponder for just a few moments. So what is this portal? In Oguafo Africana, every Obochi, every day is already a portal, a gate through which the human enters Allah, the earth space. But certain days are amplified portals. They are days when the architecture of the calendar itself bends towards the spiritual realm and makes the threshold thinner. The 4-4 portal, the fourth day of the fourth month, is the form portal. It is the day the calendar invites us to ask, what in my life is still scattered from Ife Eke that wants to come into form? What community, what body, what project, what relationship, what version of myself is ready to be gathered into a complete circle? What am I willing to stop fragmenting so that something whole can be born? These are beautiful questions to ask as we step into the 4-4. The Dibia teaches that form is not forced. Form is invited. You cannot bully a thing into existence. You can only prepare the circle and let it arrive. Onwa Ano is the month of preparing that circle. And so we invite Dr. Claudette to join us on stage this morning to bring her brief um, reflections. Welcome, Dr. Claudette. How are you?
I am well. Isalachi, Isalachi. Good morning, everyone.
Good
I
morning.
trust wherever you are in the world. Bless upfulness of the new moon, as we say in Jamaica.
Yes,
Yes,
the new
yes.
moon. When you presented the calendar to me at the beginning of the year, and I was preparing, our meditations, I realized, oh wow, the new moon and the portals for the rest of the year from now, well, from last month until the end of the year, the portal days aligned perfectly with the new moon. So that was
Correct.
interesting to
Mhm.
just see how natural time and natural cycles are fully aligned with the Igbo calendar or vice versa.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
so,
the notion that we're talking about of balance, right? Of form. This is, you know, beautifully lived by our ancestors. The alignment of everything, the synchronicity, of everything. So, as you said, we have invited a special guest today. So I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to say much other than to say this is our partner in bringing back the Igbo calendar to the world, to ourselves and to the world. Dibia, as I've explained here, obviously, the inadequate word priest, but this is a holistic healer, somebody who actually lives the calendar and is the calendar. Um, so I ask you to welcome him, to listen um, to his message. Form is not bullied. You invite form. You think of form, you think of four. The calendar says time is four long baskets. And that's the four market days that this is just a beautiful way of understanding the world, and that this form in itself is balance, right? So first you had one thing, right? You said, whoa, source. Then the source divides itself, right? And then there's a big bang, there's an explosion, it's scattered. But what's scattered takes, think of a Lego. Those of us who used to play with Lego, right? These scattered things take, and then next month you build something. But you have to have the form before you can build the thing. That's all. So Big Bang, your parents came together, they did a big bang, and you took form. Think of your four limbs, your four chambered heart, your four limbs. I keep coming back to it. We are divine beings. We're a part of God, even as God is a part of us. So I'm going to give way now to the eloquent and forceful and dynamic Eze Mmuo, and who will share with us the meaning of Onwano in Oguafo, the Igbo calendar of our ancients. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Claudette. And now we bring on stage Eze Mmuo. Eze Mmuo, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is our pleasure to have you. I didn't get to meet you in person. You were presenting at another event, and I was like blown away. Guys, this is our kind of guy. He does not beat around the bushes and smooth around the edges to make everybody feel comfortable. He says it like it is, and I love it. So welcome, Eze Mmuo, and we're handing over to you to just share with us a little bit more of the Igbo cosmology. It is very rare for people in the West to get the truth. Our cosmology has been demonized by the West, by organized man-made religions. And we here in Jamaica, we frown upon people like yourself because it's been beaten out of us. And in the US as well, we've been handed a religion and told that what we learned, what we came over here with is wrong. So please talk about the true meaning of.
And thank you, Paula. And Dr. Flavia. And first of all, I have to clarify one aspect here on behalf of Ordinal Institute.
Yes.
Thank you. The organization called to a lot. As a matter of fact, they were the people. They're supposed
Okay.
to.
Hold on 1 minute, Eze Mmuo. I'm hearing you sometimes, but it's as if your voice is going down. So I'm going to ask you to repeat again just to make sure, position yourself so that your voice is clear.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes. So I think when
Okay.
you raise up a little bit better, it's
Okay. Like I said, I am a representative of Ordinal Institute and an association called Igboland. Now, as a matter of fact, they are the ones responsible for all the research and the preservation that we have today. So, credit to other researchers who are working also in collaboration with us.
right.
You understand? So,
Yes.
I wouldn't want to sit here and take credit. I'm representing them, and I hope to represent them well.
Yes, I'm sure you will. Let me see if you move back a little bit, if your voice will come through a little better. Yes. Okay, speak now.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, having said that, I like to, because we are talking about the fourth point. Yeah, but you will not understand where you are except you know where you are going. And to have a better understanding of where you are, also need to know where you are going. Because where you are at the moment is the middle of the journey. So let us start from the very beginning,
Yes.
the first month. Now, 18, the Igbo calendar was a way that our ancestors explained life itself. They explained life itself. It is their own way of educating us on the process of life for us to understand what life is all about. You can, if you had paid attention when Dr. Fabia was talking, he mentioned the Big Bang. Now the truth remains that before the white man got the knowledge of the Big Bang, our ancestors were already talking about it. The word "wa" is trying to introduce something broke out from somewhere, whether by accident or by design, or something that broke out from somewhere. Here, what I want. If I am to tell you to break a plate, I will say kowaya. See, that wa is there. If I'm going to tell you to cut off something, I will say the wire. You know what means break up, to break into, or to break into, or to break something. The explosion. Right? That is what I mean. And from the two, the word does not represent design. So what happened did not happen by design. It happened either by constraint or by pressure. It has nothing to do with design. So that alone tells you that the people never, never, never believed in creation. The language itself explains to you that the Igbos never believed in creation. So when you talk about the creator, you are stepping outside the Igbo circle. It has nothing to do with Igbo.
Just 1 minute. The closer you come is the more I lose your voice. So yeah.
Now, are you? Is it? Is it loud?
It's loud, but it's going. I'm losing the words. So that's why I feel like, because you're on the iPad, if you're far away from it, the iPad will pick up the sound better. So if you
Okay.
can sit a little bit further.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Here is okay. Yes.
Okay. So, like what I said, now they want to explain to us the journey of life.
Yes.
Now, I want you to pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Now, we talk about this month, which of course is the beginning of everything.
Yes.
Now, they use the word onwambo. Onwambo. What is Mbo in Igbo language? Who means first? Another word from Mbo, which we have taken for something else, means exit. Ese means front, the front line.
Yes.
Onwambo. It doesn't mean that more important. No, but the front. Now, then you walk out at the very beginning. Now, from that line, second line and third line, they were talking the three elements that you know.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about proton, neutron, and electron.
Yes.
Are you understanding what I'm saying now? They were
Oh,
they are referred, because of their movement, because of their friction, they are referred to as 100% of they were referred to as speed. Now, the establishment of these elements, first of all, they introduced proton in Onwambo. That was why the name was not given. But they're telling you that this is where it all began. And then the second one introduced neutron. Then in the third one, this is power because they are not mystery. They call it Ife Ajoku. So if they forgot the system. They call it Ife Eke. Now Eke is fire. Eke is fire. Now what's the saying there is this. The together of that proton neutron produce electron.
Yes.
And it was at that particular point they knew that they had to come together to form a body. Very important. The four elements of life is water, fire, and soil, the air.
Yes.
And these things are they are all made up of these three elements. These three atoms is all made up of. They are the ones that are responsible for forming water. They are the ones that are responsible. It's only their position that things change. Now, our father can tell you that life is life from formation. It has nothing to do with creation. Life is life from formation. From these things, and where did these things come from? This is why we talk about the Big Bang. It is called, there is a place in Africa that is called Buntu. Now, that word, Buntu, they call it, there is a Buntu tribe, the Buntu tribe. Now, this word is a corrupt word of Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
In Igbo, it is Ubuntu. The children of the sun, they came from the particles of the sun. So this we are talking about some people came when the first sun exploded.
Okay.
That is where life emerged from. That is.
Okay. Could you hold on 1 minute? I am getting some feedback from persons here, and they're saying they're not hearing you well. I'm going to do this. I'm going to remove you briefly from the stage and bring you back and see if the sound is better. Because what's happening is that we can hear you talking, but we can't. Sometimes we'll hear it. Like if you go back, we can hear it, and then when you come forward, we can't hear it. So let me just remove you from the stage and then bring you back and see if it will be a little better. Okay, let's try that again. Can you speak again and we hear?
Okay, like I said, the Buntu tribe. Okay. Now should I go ahead? Should I go ahead?
Yes, you can. You can.
Okay. So now, when you look at it, they are trying to tell you that we came from the part. What is the sun itself? Is the explosion of this sun from what they just discovered, which we know already, is from the explosion of the sun that life came. And we already is in our linguistics, in our language.
Yes.
The whole thing is embedded there. We understand it. And this is what our forefathers have been saying even before the white man made this same discovery. Not like we are imitating them, we know these things, they are there. And there is one thing, even though people have created words, in reality there is no word in Igbo language that represents creation.
Right.
We don't have it in Igbo language. The only three words that talks about somebody trying to do something new is Etuhe, Ikuhe, and Emuhamu, to give birth to a new baby. Ikuhe have an image. Then Ikuhapu, mold. So there is no other word again that is close to creation. So we don't believe in that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They don't believe in it because there is no word for it. But when the church came, the church now told them that okike means creation. Now, if you look at the word, it's not a written word, you will see that that is talking about to share. Okay, means share. Ike means to share. To share something into two, or to divide something, or to share and give somebody his or her own portion. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with creating. You understand? It's talking about something totally different. But just because some people have accepted so many things out of assumption. So if you now teach them, they will say, that one Igbo word can mean so many things. It's a lie. People don't speak in emptiness. When they speak, even ordinary names, when a name is given to you, the meaning is intact. The meaning is unique. So it has a unique meaning. There is no word that means two things are two different places. No, people don't talk like that.
Right. Okay. I'm going to remove myself from the stage to see if the sound will be better. I'm going to ask you to be a little bit more upright, because when your voice goes up, that way I can hear it, but when it comes down, I can't. Okay. So I'm going to remove so that you're not looking at me.
Okay, sorry. So what I'm saying is that we have a system that introduced the process of life, how life began, and so having said this, when you look at the 3 first months, including Onwu Ifeke, which is the 3rd month, it's talking about when the electrons were introduced. And now, for life to really be what it's supposed to be, then there is a process, and that process is that the 4 things that formed, that is the 3 elements have to bring together those things that formed life, those 4 things that formed life, which is air, water, the heat itself, because that heat is called, is part of the process called. So that was when they began to process it, and that was when they introduced the 4th month, which is Izu. Now the word Izu means coming together. When you want to assemble, for example, I have here in my hand Nzu. Nzu is what we use to summon the ancestors and also summon the community energies. Now, and also your own chi. This Nzu talks about coming together. So the word Nzu is talking about bringing together all these forces and then trying to process them, bringing them together. That is why it is Izu. So when we look at it from the spiritual realm, it is a complete circle. It's something that is complete. We talk about having those 4 elements intact, bringing them together to form a life, to introduce life. And that is the month we are in, the 4th month, the month that everything assembled itself. Not coming together as just coming together, they came together in agreement. They came together in order. They came together in agreement, working together, coming together, unifying for one particular purpose. And that is why immediately after the 4th month, what do you see? You see Onwa. And what is Agu? Agu talks about a solid spiritual foundation and direction. That means you can't just come together without having unity of purpose. So coming together defines the purpose which they come together. So all is talking about that unity of purpose. They're united for a goal. They're united for something. So before anything starts taking form, they're united. But we are talking about things that are happening in the spiritual realm, because our point is that people end some certain conversations just in the spiritual realm. Because this thing obtained in the spiritual realm is meant to manifest in the physical realm. So at this particular point now, it is now Agbo is trying to give them purpose, direction, because there is a name called Uchechi, which is trying to explain to you that these atoms or these things that formed these elements, they have memory. So having memory means that they have instruction, and coming together there is an agreement. So that is where they now choose what to become, whether they are going to become a rock, or whether they are going to become a tree, or an animal, or a human being. Because at the end of the day, whatever they are going to be has to be decided. That is why the arm will represent the unity of people, because they are all coming together. When they don't, if they are not together, they don't have a form. They don't have a form. They are just individual on their own. But the moment they start coming together, they are now forming an institution. They are now forming something, whatever it is that they have agreed to form. And that is why in Igbo, in our understanding, everything is a living thing. Everything is alive. That is why you will see us pour libation on a rock, and we speak to a rock or we speak to a stick, because we know that everything is alive. The only thing that everything is living, the only thing that makes you think that the stone on the floor does not have life is because the stone is not moving. But that is not what we don't look at it from that angle. We look at it from the angle that if you take that same stone, put it on top of a fire, you will see that the stone will start there. It's living. It's living, but it may not be. It's not the process that you went to become a stone. It's not the process that you went through to be who you are and to be able to be moving. So, but we understand that what formed you from the very foundation is the same thing that formed the stone. But the difference is that two of you went through different processes, and that is why that ended up a stone and you ended up a human being. So we understand it in Igbo spirituality that everything is alive. That is why most spiritual doors are the trees. If you come to shrines, you will see tall trees. Those things are portals, spiritual portals. Because where there is no life, there is no presence of spirit. So the tree shows that there is still life in that particular place. That the energy there is still, there is a radiation of energy in that particular spot. There is no Okumo in Igboland that you don't see a tree. It's not because they are worshiping the tree, but the tree is the proof that there is life radiating from that particular spot. I'm not saying that there is no life that radiates from stones. It's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that the tree shows you that there is life radiating from that particular spot. That is why most of those trees, some of them have taken thousands of years. So this is what we understand, that at that fifth month, it explains the unity of people, that they are coming, yes, they came together on the 4th month, and then coming together, there must be a reason why they came together. They didn't just come together because they were attracted to each other. No, they came together in agreement. There is unity. There is unity, and there is a purpose for that unity. And that is why they talked about Onwa. Then, the moment we leave that stage, we now entered Onwa Ife Ajoko. Now, trying to tell you that all that has been happening, all that they are trying to explain to you, is happening because Ajoko is Igbo spirituality. That everything that has been happening is happening in the spiritual realm. That it is still obtaining in the spiritual realm. That these things are spiritual. These things are happening in the spiritual realm. So I think he's still trying to tell you where we are, that we are still in the spirit, that everything that is obtaining in the spiritual realm. And then for it to come to physical manifestation, the first thing they did was to talk about Alomchi. Now, why is it Alomchi? Now remember, I said that Chi talks about these atoms. Now, Alomchi is now trying to bring it individual development. It's telling you that yes, it is in the spiritual realm, but they are not dealing with people individually. It is individual development. Alomchi talks about if I may borrow from the West, they will say personal race, personal development, personal awareness. Now, Alomchi is talking about you, because we don't, there's a saying that people normally say that everybody have chi. No, we believe that not everybody, that everything is chi. But we all have physical forms, but we are chi in physical forms. So Alomchi is trying to talk about that, your personal awareness, your person, because there is nothing that is coming from outside. Everything is already here. So your personal development when it comes to that spiritual area. Then after your personal development, we now go to another mode that talks about it a lot more. Now this is when now, because you don't know isolation. Now developing yourself personally, you now connect and unite with your community, and this is when people look at spiritual portals, which we call deities that are community based. This is when they connect those portals. But first of all, you have to develop yourself as a person. You have to understand yourself as a person, where you are coming. So after which it now goes to the community. Because we also believe that the physical community is also the spiritual community, that there is, the two words are embedded in one another. So there is the line between the spiritual and the physical is not. So you can isolate yourself from the whole community. And that is why there are things we call arum. Things that you will do, they will have to force you to leave that community. You will be expelled from the community. Because it's not about you. It's about the community, and how you yourself also will live in harmony with the community, spiritually and physically. So there are some things you will do, the community will tell you to do, because the problem or the negative energy that you're bringing will affect the community and affect the community. So you have to send you away. And every community is a circle. There is an invisible face. We call it Abara. And that is why in every community you have what we call Ihabara. And that Ihabara there are usually deities that are parts and parcel of there are energies, concentrated energies that are parts and parcel of that particular community, that are, that have their spiritual order in that Ihabara, which means that is where the gate, let me say, the spiritual gate of the community is. And in every community, there are usually the front and the base of this so-called deities. And their base is usually the central market, while the central shrine serves as the entrance. I'm talking about in the spiritual realm. So when we are talking about Elomo, we are talking about connection between these two places and the community and the people in the community. So that is when you see them doing certain ceremonies that has to be family-oriented, kindred-oriented, village-oriented, and community-oriented. Ceremonies that unites the people. Spiritual ceremonies that unite the people, that has a lot to do with festive seasons and things like that. That is in Elomo. You understand? So then immediately after this Elomo, because you have experienced your spirituality, community level. Now it now brings this into the physical realm. After Elomo, they now bring it to the physical realm. They are not moving from the spiritual into the physical, and that is when they talk about Onwala or Anna. Now, Anna represents, the name Anna means earth. But in this situation now, they are talking about the physical realm. Because the earth is something you can see. The earth is something that is visible. So they are trying to tell you physical, they are the physical realm. So that is when they now move, the spiritual community is now coming to into visibility. They are not talking about the physical realm. It is when they now come to Onwana that they now step from Anna again into Onwo. Now remember what I told you before, that the month, that the word Okike means to divide. And it was at this point that they now had to, because it has not entered into physical realm, they now had to divide whatever has been created. So immediately after Onwo Okike, you saw the division. They have Onwa Jana, which is the masculine energy that have manifested physically, and they have Onwa Ede Ajan, the feminine energy. Two of them have been split into two. And that is why everything, no matter what it is, even trees, even rocks, have male and female. So the moment that was done, they now introduce us to another process again called Onwa Ozalosi or Onwa Abar, which is a kind of a period where there is a need to interweaving between the old cycle and a new cycle that is coming up. That means the year is coming to an end. So it talks about Onwa Ozo Alosi. Now, what are they even referring to as Alosi? Alosi they are talking about is still the Abba, or some people call it Onaba. So it's talking about the interweaving between the old and the new, because Abra is like that is why what usually represents Abba physically is the snake that we refer to as python, because of the multiple designs and colors that it has. You understand? And not only that, this is just the physical eye, but it sits in a very sacred place when it comes to Igbo spirituality. You understand? Although there is a lot of debate going on, and there are people that in Igboland that says that they don't have such much reverence to the snake as others do. But generally speaking, that is the representation. That snake represents Allah. And also the first is that particular face that we normally use in Igboland, which is a spiritual face to face a community. And that is why every community is being treated as a country of its own. Every community is just like a country of its own, because the spiritual atmosphere in one community differs from another community because of the presence of that Abba. And that Abba is that invisible face that is used to circle each and every community. And that brings us to the end of the calendar, a 13-month calendar. So let us go back to Onwano. So, like I said, for you to understand Onwano, you have to know where we are coming from and also where we are going to. So Onwano is talking about unifying the four elements that makes up life. And that unification is not without a purpose. And that is why you get to understand the purpose in Onwago. That is why if a man or a woman comes of age and is living a life of rascality, they have to understand that they need to fine-tune his Ago, because Ago will give you direction. Ago will make you understand why you are here and what you came to do, and then for you to pursue your purpose. So these are the things that makes that 4th month very unique and very important, because that is where everything came together. Everything came together, not just by this is when you now talk about design. Yes, we will agree. They came together in agreement. They came together understanding what they came to do. That is where everything came together. Now, if I must tell you that every life, yes, every life has these 4 elements, but the stages we went through to get to this level is just only 3 stages. And that is what we have, these 4 elements, but the stages we went through to get to this level is only 3 stages. That is from the source, which is chi, through the process, which is a more, and then the manifestation of that process, which is the physical realm, which is a matter. And that is why the Igbos talk about chi, more, and the matter. But even though we went through 3 stages to get to this particular level, and those 3 stages are still operational. They are still operational. Now, for us to go back to again to chi, we have to also go through the process of more. So that means one need to do away with this physical life and enter into more before the process will not process you back to chi. And that is why we believe that there are 2 gates, 2 spiritual gates, the gate between more and the man, which is, and the gate between more and the chi. You understand? We believe, so that is what they were trying to introduce when we left Elomo. When we left Elomo and entered Omane. So they are trying to tell you that we have left the spiritual realm, and then there is a physical manifestation, and that was why immediately we entered into Omane, the vision came. You have to separate the male from the female, whether it is a tree, whether it's whatever it is, there is male and there is female. Even ordinary, what do you call it, sun, there are female and there are feminine and there are masculine. That is why we say in Igboland, here we have to survey. So Onwokike is not there because Igbos believe in creation. Onwokike is there because they are talking about the separation. And immediately they left Onwokike, you will hear about Onwa Ajana, Onwa Ede Ajana. Trying to tell you that Ajana is 2. The masculine and the feminine. So this is where we are. So the IGBO calendar explains the beginning of life. For us, as far as we are concerned, from the linguistic, there is nothing like creation. Life emerged. Life emerged. So there is no man up there trying to create anything or create. Who created it? You understand? So the Lord himself does not support that claim. It is only the church that is trying to force it on people, and then people assume that a lot of words, things that they are not. So, that nation means okay, no. Why? Separating things, defining things. You understand? So that is what Okike is talking about. He's talking about the market. It has nothing to do with creation. So, and immediately after Okike, go and look at the calendar. We enter Onwa Ajan. And then there is also another introduction with the Ajan. Before they now took us to hear the old meets the new, which we call Onwu Zalose or Onwabara, depending on the community or the section of Igboland that is introducing the calendar. You understand? And by the way, we are from our calculation, we are in 5,000 and 4. We are in 5004. And what we are using to calculate is when the Igbos became conscious of metal works, working with iron. And that is why it is called the Iron Age. Not when the Igboland came into existence, no. The Igbos has been. In fact, we cannot even trace the exact era that the Igboland has been in existence. But we know as at 5,000 years ago, our people have been creating complicated items, products with iron. And they have been producing this iron in an industrial scale. Not just one iron. They have been producing this iron in an industrial scale. I'm talking about 5,000 years ago, when the West were stone to using stone to invent, to be using complicated products. And that is why we are using that particular aim. Start planting when our people became conscious of tools, certain tools, when they are using stuff. So not because it's when we start moving around. There's a book written by Katrina Kelonu that said they came before Adam. Moving around forever.
Yes, yes. I came back because I wanted to just ask 2 questions, but when I come on, the sound really gets messed up. But I love how you presented it, and you showed us the 3 gates, between Amo and the other state and the other state. And I know that because you also, uh, for many years, were within the Western religion up to a very high level.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Why do you think it's so important for them to push the creation story versus our understanding, the Igbo understanding of how we move through these 3 stages? Why do you think it was so important for them to do that?
Yeah, in life, the best foundation for anyone is for you to know yourself. And that's why they normally say, know thyself, understand yourself. Now, you cannot understand yourself when you are confused. And that is why wrong narratives are being pushed. A lot of books are out there to mislead people. Now, you may feel something inside, but then, are you in line with where you are supposed to be? And that is why your potential can be limited. Now, you said, I've been at the other side for a very long time, yes. But I cannot compare the satisfaction and the calmness I have today with what I experienced before. Because there were a lot of questions that needed answers that I could not find answers to. One question leads to another question. One question leads to another question. So at the time, you become confused. And that is why they talk about mystery. So when you put pressure, they will tell that it is a mystery. But I can tell you, in this ordinary, there is no mystery. Everything is in the open, except you don't want to understand it. And we're not talking about things that are where you have to believe it because I said it. No. The facts, the evidence, they are all there. Because in my language, there is something we call amamihe. The word amamihe. Now, amamihe means ihe mabara nihe, something that falls into something. So you must see that thing when it is falling into that thing. If not, it's not amamihe. Amamihe, omabara nihe. Now, and that is the word they use for intelligence. That whatever you are saying has to fall into something. And that thing, they have to see the thing you are saying and then see where it falls into. If not, it's not intelligence. Then there's a word again called Eze Oku, which means truth. Now, there are 2 words that makes up Eze Oku, Eze and the Oku. So that means something that is in the public space. Now, what does that mean? It means that something that is in public knowledge. Now, if I say something to you and I'm telling you, I say it's a secret. If I'm the only one that knows it, then it's not a so. So what does that mean? If I'm telling you something, there is elements or particles of that knowledge that is already with you. You will see yourself being convinced, not because of what I'm saying, but because you have that thing in you. You will know your chi, that chi you are that is in you, will bear witness that what this man is saying is true. You will not can't help yourself by nodding. Don't you fully know that I'm saying the truth? Maybe you've experienced it before, or maybe you've heard it before, or maybe you've seen it before. So when I'm saying something, your mind is telling you you have a reflection of something that supports that thing which I'm saying, and that is why it's a book. You understand? That is why it says so. So when we say truth, in Igboland, means something that is in the public place. You talk about love. Now, there is no word for love in Igbo language. The only thing that we have that is close to love is Ihunanya or Efunanya. Now, Nanya is telling you that now, my eyes have to see your eyes. So if my eyes is going to see your eyes, for us to bond together, then there is the word, the concept of distance relationship does not exist in Igbo world, because I need to use my eyes to see your eyes, and you use your own eyes to see my eyes, for us to know that we really appreciate one another. So there is the love people talk about. You understand? So our way explains a lot of things. Because most of the people don't cover. If you use the translation from English word to Igbo word, you will see that most of the things you assume or you are meant to believe that this is what they mean is not actually what they mean. So many words in English language that does not exist in Igbo word, because you don't have them associated. Just like when you say spirituality, the word spirituality in Igbo is hijab. Now, but many people who are in Igbo spirituality don't even know that the word for spirituality is hijab. Many of them have assumed a lot of things like ego, you know, these are practices that you do in a hijab. You understand? These are practices that you do in a hijab. Now, because in Igbo, there is no separation. The market is part of the society. The society is part of the market. The market is part of the spirituality, and the spirituality is part of the market. There is no separation. The school is part of the society, and the society is part of the school. The school is part of the market, and the market is part of the school. So it's together. You understand? And this is why if you have a problem, if you have problem in the market, it will go around the society. In fact, you will be rejected in every place. So there's not like I had a problem in the school, and then you came back to the society, and the society does not know what happened in the school. It's a complete lie. Everything is connected, everything is the same, they're all in the same place. So once you have a problem in the school, you're having a problem in the society. So that is why when you are banished, you are banished. Everybody knows about it, because there's no separation between spirituality and physical. So everything is together. That is what the goal of man. For example, if you have a wife, the kitchen automatically belongs to her. Now, not because she is the one that will cook and do this, no. The kitchen belongs to her in the sense that I have no right to enter the kitchen. Without her permission, I have no right, no matter what it is, to enter the kitchen. If we are really, I have no right. Why? Because that is her spiritual, that is her temple. Everything she does, spiritual works, physical works, everything she is doing, that is her place. So before you penetrate or you come into that place, you need her permission. Why the man inherits where we call the Obi? The Obi is like a sit-out. You understand what I'm saying? A sit-out where visitors are being received. It's just like, now you have what you call the living room. No, in those days, the sit-out is outside. It's a hut that is built outside. Now, where visitors are being received. Now, it belongs to me as the man. Now, the woman has no way to enter except with my permission, or she comes to give me food. And that is my spiritual place. So it's like being oppressed for the house where the territory where you are in charge. Why? There is a reason for that, because the word in Igbo language that is close to the word family, there is no word for family in Igbo language. The word in Igbo language that is close to the word family is called Ezi na Olo. Remember, when I talked about truth, I said Ezi Oku. Now, the word Ezi has come out again. Ezi na Olo. Now, they are talking about two places. Inside the house and the environment. Olo means inside the house. Then Ezi means the environment. Now, there are two people in charge. The man is in charge of the environment, while the woman is in charge of the house. And that is why the Mbala is built inside the house, while the Obi of the man is built outside the house. So it is the man's job to protect the entire family. So if you are coming in, you meet the man first because he is outside. Then it is the woman's job to nurture what has already entered into the house. And that is where the children are being raised. So when they are of age, you see the boys coming to sit with their father at the Obi. You see the girls coming to hear words of wisdom from their father at the Obi. So everything is well organized. It is this so-called Western civilization that deceived us. We threw away what we had that was diamond. And then we are now scrambling for silver. And then we think we are doing well. That is why there is a lot of problems in homes. A lot of problems in homes. The Igbo society was organized. Very well organized. The man where he knows his boundaries. The woman also knows her boundaries. The Igbo woman was never asking for equality or women liberation because there was nothing to liberate. And as a matter of fact, the first women that dealt with the colonial masters were Igbo women. Go and check it. It's in the Google. The Aba women riot. Because of they had that privilege. It has been there. You understand? So when these people came and wanted to tax them, these people, even themselves living with their men has never put pressure on them. Then why should foreigners put pressure on them? The people, they beat them up and they now went into riot. The date now, women are not taxed in Nigeria because of that riot. You understand? So when people, if you say that women are being oppressed, know that one she's an ignorant person.
Yes.
He doesn't know Igbo culture. Because the Igbo woman was the first woman internationally to revolt. There was no man in that riot. It was women that organized it. It was women that carried it out. And it was very successful.
I want to divert a little bit because as you are speaking, one of the reasons why we have you coming to speak to us is because we understand that they have corrupted the way in which we think and the way in which we perceive reality. You know, they tell us, oh, it's a big creation, a big bang. And you are explaining how it goes in stages before creation. This is why the Igbo people were powerful, because they understood how to create based on how creation, they understood the processes between each state, between the spiritual realm and the material realm, right? I want to ask you, because I'm looking at your watch. You have a anti-clockwise watch. I want to to explain to us why even time was distorted and how that affects how we think and how we operate. Because
Okay.
I'm very interested. You see, what we're trying to do is help people to understand how to escape the matrix, escape the current understanding of reality. Because the way we have been taught is very distorted, and so the powers that be can control us. When we return to the original ways, then we will not be so controlled. So tell us a little bit about why even time and our understanding of it is distorted.
Okay. We having dived into the activities that surrounds the circumstances that we find ourselves, come to understand one thing. We are dealing with people that are very, very intelligent. The West, they are very crafty, they are very intelligent. And they understand that once you are composed, you'll be able to sort yourself out. So what do you not do? To prevent a man or a woman from being composed, you have to confuse them. So that is why they gave you diagrams. They gave you roadmaps that leads you towards the other direction. You understand? You should not ask yourself, what are the things that are supposed to guide us? Time is important. Time was the first thing they tampered with. Now, if you are, most of you that went to church will be there with me that now they keep telling you that their God is outside time and space. And that is why he is able to control the whole world, because he's outside time and space. So what I'm trying to tell you in other words is that once you are outside this particular time that they created, you will be able to also control the world. So that means you will take over your world. Now, it's an expo. But then something happened. There was this pope called Pope John Paul II. He died. He has died a long time. So one day he was being interviewed, and that was an eye-opener for me. And I was listening to his interview because I pay attention to certain figures, certain characters. When I see them talk, I listen to them. It's not about what they are saying, but I'm listening to what is behind what they are saying. So I was listening to him, and they asked him why he doesn't really come at the appointed time. Like if he has an appointment by 7 o'clock and things like that, the man said he will never come in time. It's either he comes before the time or after the time. And that was deep for me. That was deep for me. Since that day, I decided not to come in time. Even before we created this our time, I knew. And I began to study the African people. At times they will say African time, that Africans like to come to places late. It's not that. We misunderstood that. It's not that. The issue is that the Africans do not talk about a specific point in the time. It's not about, for that person, it's not about the season. Let's say, for example, you are doing something around 5 o'clock Western time. The African man knows that you said 5 o'clock Western time can start by 3 and end by 7. So with that season, he will find himself there. He's not coming at that your specified time. He's coming because of the season. You understand? It's in the evening. It's an evening thing. So he's coming at the time appropriate for him or her. At that evening, it has nothing to do with he has to be there 7 sharp. It's because we are adopting this people system, and then he makes you to put yourself under control, and people under control. Who is controlling you? The man that created the watch. It makes no sense. You understand? Celebration is not dancing and going. It's about the feeling. It's about connecting. Because for the Africans, it's all about connection. For example, if you are doing a birthday party and I come to your birthday party, I may come with presents, but I'm coming to connect. For us, it's not a show. It's for me to come and connect, not just with you, with everybody that comes here. So that's why we see ourselves in such gathering. It looks like a family pain. You know, you see people, you know, eating, drinking, you know, laughing, not because they cannot afford those things, but it's all about the connection. So, and it's not something you do in 5 minutes. Connection takes a gradual process. It takes time. So when they are coming, they are to relax. They are not coming, hey, I need to be somewhere. No, then you don't have to come. You understand? It's recently that people started behaving like that. We don't behave like that before. Once you come, you relax. Once you come, you stay. People will crack jokes. People will laugh. People will do this. People will do that. It's not about who has money. It's not about who is richer than the other. No, yeah. That is why in Igbo, we don't talk about these differences. The value of a man is what is in your head. Do you understand what I'm saying now? It's what is in your head. Because they believe that if you're wise, you'll be able to save your community in days of crisis. It may not be something that has to do with finance. It might be something that has to do with security. But your wisdom might bring that breakthrough that they're looking for. So when people come together, it's not coming to show off. When people come together, they are together because they believe that it is connection. It is about connecting. Like I told you, it has a lot to do with community. It's all about connection. It's all about connection. So whatever we do, whether it's a birthday celebration, whether it is a marriage ceremony, they are all, you don't rate them according to time. It's about the season. That is why, for example, the Igbo marriage, forget about this church thing, it has nothing to do with it, Igbo people. The Igbo marriage takes almost 2 months. It's not done in a day. It takes almost 2 months. Why? Because it is a process. It's not about the timing. It's a process. For example, there is the one they call introduction. You have to go to the girl's house, to go and knock at their door, speak to the father of the girl, that you saw something in his house that you are interested in. And the man will now, you will drag the conversation. Then you will now explain to him that I saw your daughter and I like your daughter. The girl will be invited. They will ask the girl whether she knows you. It's either she knows you or she doesn't know you. They will not tell the girl why you came, whether she wants them to consider you as a potential in-law. If she says yes, then the wine that, because you go there with a bottle of wine, they will now say, okay, they will collect the wine from you and tell you to go home. Because one person does not marry a woman in Igboland. And one person does not give a woman's hand in marriage. So they will not tell you to go home and go and call your kinsmen. Bring your people, your kinsmen. It's not just your family, your kinsmen. That is the zone that you came from. You tell them the eldest man and the people there, they will support you. While the man himself will also inform his own kinsmen that somebody came to ask the hand of his daughter in marriage, that he wants them to wait for them, that he has given them a date to come. So the people will come, these people will come. It's just for a woman who, all of them will gather. You will see about maybe 20 to 30 men sitting, discussing about just one woman to tell how important their daughters are to them. So when they will gather, once they come together and then begin to discussion, the family of the girl, the kinsman of the girl, a list of items that they are supposed to bring for the marriage ceremony. They will now go back and gather those items. They will give them a date to come. And then when they now come with those items, they call that one Michel or Mi Ejoku. Some people call it Ejoku, some call it Michel or Miashi. Now, it's not the proper wine carrying. So when they now bring that those items, the men will receive them and they will discuss about the girl following to their place. And things are not done maybe today, then tomorrow, the next. No. They give gap like 8 days, 4 days, or even 12 days before they will repeat the visit. Now they will not say, okay, the girl will have to follow, this particular girl will have to follow these people to their place. After they do that particular introduction, let her go there and stay 4 days. Now, that 4 days she's going to stay, she will observe the family. She will look at the place, whether it's a place that she herself would like to live, whether she is comfortable living with them, or whether she likes the place or she doesn't like the place. She has to go and experience herself. And within this period, the man is not allowed to touch her. So the man too, and the man's family will also study the girl, study her to find if she is somebody that they would like to marry. So that days is 4 days of studying one another. So after 4 days, the girl will be asked. She has to go back to her people. And while she's going back, they will give her wine. There's this local wine, is white in color. They will give her the wine and cover the wine. There is a way they will cover the wine. Her people will know when she gets home that she has been rejected. But there is a way also they will cover the wine. The people will know that she has been accepted. So the language is in the wine, because they will give her a keg of wine to take back to her people. So she will carry the wine home. She, as a girl, does not understand the language. So when she brings the wine, the elders will look at the wine, the cover, and know exactly the language those people are sending. So if they are saying they have rejected her, they will tell her, say, don't worry, leave those people. They will encourage their daughter. She won't know she has been rejected, because it's the elders that will understand the language. Then if they have accepted her, they will not tell her, okay, don't worry, let us prepare for them. Tell them when they will come. Because the wine has spoken. The wine that she brought home has spoken, but she does not know. You see, this is the way Igbo spoke. So when she is accepted, they will now send the message. But before they will come for the marriage proper, they have to recognize the mother, the woman that gave birth to the girl. So there is a ceremony that is normally done for the mother. It's called Ngofere. You understand? So they will buy her things like wrapper, that's clothes, and so many things to thank her for giving birth to this particular maiden. So it is not after that particular one that they will now fix a date for the main marriage. You understand? The main marriage, when she will take wine, drink, and give her man. And that day, two important things happen. Apart from the ceremony where people will eat and drink, there are two things that happen. Now, the first one is that they will have to go inside the house in a secluded place. The elders from this side and from this side, they will go and begin to negotiate about the bride price. Now, many people forget about, they think that the bride price means selling the lady. No, the bride price does not mean selling the lady. The bride price is trying to tell you how important their daughter is. The bride price is not like it's expensive. It could be as small as maybe, let's say, if you are rating it in dollar, it might be as small as maybe $10. Now, it's not about that. It's not like they don't have money. Even if the girl's father is richer than the boy, he has to collect that bride price. Now, the bride price means that the person that they are giving you, they gave it to you. It means two things. One, it was their consent that you came to collect their daughter, and they are aware that their daughter is with you. So if anything should happen to her, they will hold you responsible. The secondly is that she has value. For them to sit down, and the most important is the negotiation. For this old man to sit down and begin to negotiate on behalf of this woman means that she should be valued. Do you understand it? And it's not about the money. So that money they are not saying is just nothing. You understand? Some people can close and give it 20 times. And that is why if there is a quarrel, you still have to return that money. If the woman goes back to her father's house, give it $10. If you have spent $1 million in the ceremony, if the woman goes back, you have to return the $10. They're not asking for the $1 million you spent. They're asking you for $10. You have to return it, because that thing is symbolic. That small amount, it is, but it is symbolic. That is where the respect lies. Because anyone that there is no bride price on her head does not have any. When others are talking, they will ask you, who paid your bride price? Was there any price paid on your head? Means that you just follow the man without anything. So that bride price is a deal breaker. You understand? It's everything in the marriage. So that day, the bride price is paid. That last day, the bride price is paid. And then another thing now happens again outside, not inside. Now, what happens? In Igbo tradition, marriage is not just going to marry a woman. You understand? It is deeper than that. Now, you are going to take a girl away from her people. You understand? So the forces of the land, the forces in that community, remember I told you something, I said something about Abara. The forces of that community will be aware that you are taking their daughter. And they are not just only going to be aware, they are going to bless their daughter. They are going to give you and their daughter a gift. And for you to inform them, that is the day you will inform them. So that is why they will give a cup, pour and wine inside that cup. Now watch the man that they give the pine wine bless. He will first of all take the pine wine and pour it on the floor, on the ground. And that is why it is important that you do that particular marriage in the guest hometown, not outside, not in the city. Many people are doing it in the city now, and they are asking themselves why is that the marriages are not lasting. You do it in the gas hometown, and when you're doing it in the gas hometown, look for a place that is soil, the earth, where you will meet the earth, not on top of ties or cement. No, those things are error. Now, the man that is representing the gas family, it is between four people. That is the four elements have come to play again. The four elements. The man that is representing the family, he stands there. Listen very well. He stands there. And the girl is there being represented herself. She's representing herself, but she's also representing an element. The man that came to marry her is representing an element. And the land where she comes from is also representing an element. Now, what am I saying? The man that is from the family, the representative of the family is representing the energy called Ikup, air. The land is representing itself. The man that came to marry the woman is representing the energy called fire, that is the sun. While the girl herself is representing the energy called water. Because she's going to be carried away. You take water and you go. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Remember that even when you take water and go, that the air follows you. The family follows her. Then who is the man? The man has come like the sun, and then he's going to disappear again with the water. Because the sun comes and goes. You understand? So these four things are going to also come into agreement. They will bear witness to that marriage. That is why it's important for that man to take that wine, pour the libation on the soil, speak to the ancestors who are being represented by Allah. And then he drinks. He himself will drink. And then give the girl to drink. The girl will drink from the same cup. But people are, changing the process. It has to be the same cup, the same wine that is poured at the same place. The girl will drink, and the girl will not take the remaining wine in the cup and go meet whoever is going to marry her, whoever is supposed to be her husband. And the man will drink and then put a gift inside the cup, and they will come to meet the elder, the person that started the process, and the man will bless them, and the marriage is done. You understand? Today now, people are doing it with they're adding so many rubbish to it. That process means that the girl has been officially, spiritually, and physically handed over to that man. The forces of the land bear witness. The four elements bear witness. But people are changing the process. Not they are the ones destroying what they are doing, because once you change anything from the process, the marriage is not complete. Are you understanding what I'm saying now?
I'm understanding beautifully. So, Eze Mmuo, you realize that we are gonna have to invite you back again because this has been a beautiful eye opener for us, especially as we move into our meditation. We are going to have to, because a number of people came early, and there's a point where we actually stop and internalize and integrate all that has been spoken, and then we go into the silence together. So I want to thank you, and I want to invite you again to come and speak on these things, because this this whole thing is very interesting, and it goes back to the same four. And I'm so glad that we actually got a chance to go into the process of the wedding, and to know that it's just not a man and a woman, but it's the energy of the land, the families, the whole community, and the agreement and understanding. All of this is what makes it all work. So I want to thank you so much, and I hope that you will be able to spend just a few moments, because we are going to go right now into the silence, the guided meditation. And I hope you will stay. I'm going to bring you to the backstage now. Invite Tonya to just give the just a quick reflection. We do breath work because we are connecting to the element of the air, the water, the ancestors, as best as we can with our Western understanding. And this is why we want to bring you in a little bit more often, so that we can integrate our Western understanding with the ancient intelligence, so that we are better able to get back to our understanding from a source perspective and not the distortion. So thank you so much, and I hope you will stay just even for 20 minutes more while we do our meditation.
From casting.
Just gonna go straight into breath work and your reflection, and then we run into our silence.
Okay, thank you, Paula. That was so powerful from Ezemu. And right now I'm feeling, let us just, as we do the breath work, rather than me continue to speak, let us just reflect on what was shared, the gift that we were given in the talk about the Igbo culture and traditions of community and unity, and understanding our form, our creation, what we were predestined to be, and know that as we know ourselves, we know the truth. And so, as a symbol of representing the 4-4 portal, I would just invite you to participate with us doing a round of 8 breaths. And we will use the box breath method. And I just ask you to take these deep breaths at your own pace if you would like, whatever's most comfortable for you. But we will do a round of 8 of the 4-4 breath before going into the silence. And again, thank you to Brother Ezemu, Baba Ezemu, for this message that we can reflect on throughout the remainder of this week and beyond. And so, beginning with the breath, as we sit comfortably with our back straight as possible, inhaling to the count of 4, 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale two, three, four, and hold. Two, three, four. Inhale, two, three, four, and hold. Two, three, four. Exhale, two, three, four, and hold. Two, three, four. Inhale, two, three, four. Hold. Two, three, four. Exhale, two, three, four. Hold. Two, three, four. Inhale, two, three, four. Hold. Two, three, four. Exhale, two, three, four. Hold. Two, three, four. Inhale, two, three, four. Hold. Two, three, four. Exhale, two, three, four. Hold. Two, three, four. Inhale, two, three, four. Hold. Two, three, four. Exhale, two, three, four. Hold. Two, three, four. Last one, two, three, four. Hold. Two, three, four. Exhale, two, three, four. Hold. Two, three, four. And take a deep inhale as deeply as you can. Hold it at the top and exhale and exhale and exhale. And feel your body fully relax as we anchor in peace at this very moment. As within, so without.
Thank you so much, Tony. I know you have to run. I'm going to invite Rohan on stage. We continue to breathe. Thank you. And we add Rohan. Things were a little twisted around, but Rohan is going to clear while we are doing our meditation. We are now synchronized all across the world with our breath. Welcome, Rohan. Thank you for being here. And as we synchronize, we acknowledge the ancestral wisdom that was just brought here by Eze Mmuo. And though we may not understand all aspects of the culture, we invite the ancestors to be with us, to assist us in processing and integrating the information that has just been shared with us. And we invite them to be a part of the rest of the meditation, assisting us to understand the elements, to understand the community, and to understand ourselves, and to find ourselves back to the wisdom, the understanding that we require to bring us into a stronger position with respect to the relationship that we have with the spiritual realm. At this time, we go into the silence, and Rohan continues to do his. We'll do 5 minutes of silence, and then we'll end. as we end this morning's session, may we all have greater understanding of community. May we all have greater understanding of unity. May we all have greater understanding of returning to the original knowledge and the original wisdom of our wise and benevolent ancestors. May we hold in the spaces and places that we find ourselves living in right now. May we maintain that grid, that connection between us, though we may be thousands of miles apart. May we use that connection to continue hold a space of peace, prosperity, and protection for mankind all over the world, whether they are conscious or unconscious, whether they are confused or understanding. May we as a collective move closer and closer towards understanding and further away from confusion and dysregulated nervous systems. May we align with the divine. May we find peace within ourselves and understanding with ourselves. And so it is. Thank you all so much for being here. I know it's been a long session, but it's been a beautiful session. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Rohan, for being here. Tonya has had to run away, and let me just bring Eze Mmuo on stage and thank him once more. Eze Mmuo, thank you so much. I'm very grateful that you could be here, and we want to invite you once more to a different session where we can cover many different topics. And I hope that the persons that are here can type in the comment section some topics that would be beneficial for us to start to really understand and embody the ancestral ways, the wise ways of our elders and the ones that have come before us. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.